Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today we will play a new puzzle which is the Masyu. So the Masyu puzzle, its rule is very hard to explain just using some words. So I will use a completed puzzle to explain the rules to you. So in the puzzle you will see black dots and white dots, and you see there is a loop here, only one loop. Actually we cannot have two different loops we cannot just do something like this because the puzzle contains too many different loops. So the puzzle must look like this. Only one loop connecting all the dots. And when you see a black dot, you can see here we got 6 black dots. And each black dot is a turning point of the loop. So when you see a straight line go through black dot, it must turn the other side. And also that after and before the black dot, the straight line must go forward one more step. So for example, we cannot draw something like this. Then you see a red arrow here because the black dot is must be one step further and one step behind further. So it should look like this. So when you see a black dot, it must be a turning point. And then we look at the white point. The white dot it is not a turning point, but instead it is the second turning point. This means uh, after no the white dot is not a turning point. When a straight line passes through the white dot, it must go straight away, one more step, just like every white dot here. And furthermore, just after or before the white dot, we must have a turning point. So you can see for this white dot, we must have a turning point behind the line, and also for this. So or for example, what is invalid? The one invalid is like this. Well, when you pass through a white point, you cannot one step further the in front and one step further behind. It is not valid. So when you pass through a straight line, you should turn a corner in one of a side, not necessarily two side. So this is valid also, but this is valid also because we can just turn in one side only. So the rules is just like that, very simple. So now I will try to play a new puzzle. Alright, so this is the new puzzle here. First we look at the edges of the puzzle because there are more restriction to the edges. For example, this black point, so we can draw a turning corner at this. The turning corner must be like this, and we keep in mind that we should go one step further in front of the straight line and one step behind further at the straight line. So we get a 2 by 2 L shape here. So for this corner is the same. So this puzzle is relatively easy. Um, and and you can see, for example, this black dot, uh, because it has a straight line passing through, so it must turning the other direction. It must be this direction. And now we see the straight line pass through a white dot. A white dot, after the white dot, it must be straight away, not turning corner in this or turning corner in this way. It must be turning further. And keep in mind that one white dot must be turning corner next step or behind each step, but we didn't turn a corner in the behind, so we must turn a corner in the next step. So we can go in this way or go in this way. The only thing we cannot do is go in this way. You see an error here, so we cannot cross a line in here. So after this, we look at the edges again. So we can see this. Here we got black dot. So a black dot we either do a L shape like this or either do a L shape like this. So no matter what, we must cross a straight line in this way. And after a while dot we do this, and then we still don't know the after it cross the black dot is turning corner like this or turning corner like this. So we just leave it there, and then we look at some second edges point. So which mean like this three black dot. it is not on the edges, but it is near to the edges. So we see in the black, we either go in this way or go in this way. But because we if we start from the black point, we should go a further step. But this is outside the edges, which is impossible. So we should go in this way, and we try what direction should it turn. So if it turn in this way, it's okay. But if it turn in this way, because the white dot should be crossed over straight on the next step, but this would get error because we should uh, we should have a single loop, not something cross over the loop. So this position is not valid. We cannot cross it there, so we should cross it here. And then for this black dot, we find that we should go in the left side, and we put a cross here, just like this. So when we see a black point, a black dot in the second near the edges, we should move in the direction inside the puzzle. Uh, but for this black dot, it's not on the edges and it's not on the second edges, so we cannot do anything to hit it. And then we can see for uh, this line we can either cross over here or cross over there. Two possibility only. But if we cross to the left, this loop be crossed over, so it's impossible. We cannot do it there. So we can extend the line to here, and then we look at this white point. Uh, when we see a white point, we can either grasp this or grasp this. Apparently, this is not possible because we cannot cross the loop. So we should put in this direction. And we see here is a adjacent white point, so we can further straighten in. And judging from this white point, because in this direction it has been straight two steps further, so in this way it cannot be also straight further. It must be turning. It must be a turning point here. So this one is not valid. So in this white point, we can ensure that it's like this direction, because the horizontal direction is not possible. So for this white point, we extend the point like this. So when you see a two adjacent white point, and you have already sure that the straight line is across them altogether, then you can immediately cut out these two directions, because the white point cannot be two steps straight further on two directions. So in this way, you see the line cannot be crossed over there or cross over here, so it must cross over the left direction. So also for this white point, we can ensure it has a horizontal direction, and for this also, and we cross two possibility again. So the Masyu puzzle is much more easier than the star battle, in my opinion, because it has a much more combination trick to we can use. For example, in this black dot, we find that if we if we going up, because when you're going up from a black dot, it should be go two steps straight. It cannot be turning point just after one. So this is actually not valid because we cannot cross the loop. So it must be turning down. And also from this point, it cannot be laying down, because we cannot put a straight line across a black dot. A black dot must be a turning point, so it should be turning up. Now we look at the other direction. For example, just now these two adjacent white dots, this must be turning up or turning down. But turning up is not will across the loop, so we turning down. Next, we look at the this white dot. So when we say a white dot, we either do a vertical line or do a horizontal line. But apparently we can only do the horizontal line. And then we look at this left upper corner. So so we have this endpoint, So we got five endpoints in here. And keep in mind that every time we connect two endpoints, we will reduce the number of endpoints by two. So if we connect the endpoints like this, we left with three endpoints. So for example, in these five endpoints, we find that two of them is locked in this region. But for example, for these three endpoints, we can go in outside, or this endpoint we can go outside, or for this endpoint we can go outside. But these two endpoints must be locked in the region. But let's try if we let these three endpoints going outside, all of them going outside, then these two endpoints is locked in this region. But no matter what, they will they will form a smaller loop. But this is not possible because in the whole puzzle, remember we must have one loop only. So in this 3 point, we cannot have them all going out, but also we have to put an even number of endpoints inside this region. So we see that two endpoints is not enough, so we need four. So when we determine there should be four endpoints inside the region, so in these five endpoints, one of the three here should be going outside. So let us try. If we let this point going outside, then these two will be going inside. So judging from the property of this special black dot, it will go two steps further, and this black dot will go inside. But since this is a y point, we should go one step further, but this make a invalid cross. So we find that this should be going inside. And now if we let this point going outside, then this point and this point should going inside. But this make this y point not valid because every point should be crossed by a line. So this is also not possible. So we know that this black point should go inside, and we see a y point going inside further. So now we have known that this point and this point is going inside, so this point is going outside. And because it is a black dot, we going outside two steps. And now we see this endpoint have no way to go, so it should going down. And we see a white dot, we going two steps. And this in this endpoint, it cannot be going right, so it should going down. And then we look at this region. So now we see here are two adjacent white dots. So in this endpoint, it's either going up or going down. But if it's going down, this endpoint have no way to go. So this is always not incomplete loop. So it's not possible. So the loop should be going up, and it cannot be going left because here there are nothing here. So it should going right. And for this point, we see that here are not possible. It should going down. And then this endpoint, it cannot be going up, it cannot be going left, it should going down. And until here, it's still going down. And because for this endpoint, it's either going left or going right, but it cannot be going left because this will form a small loop here, so it should going right. And then now we need to deal with the remaining parts. So let's try something have only two possibility here. So in this endpoint, we need to going up or going down. Let's try going down, and what will happen? If it's going down, then for this y point, it will going straight further, and because this point it should going left. So so if we assume like this, then for this y point, it cannot be horizontal because then this endpoint have no way to go. So it should be straight. But because for this y point, in the upper part, it have already been two straight part. So in the next step, it should immediately turning point, but it has nowhere to turn. So this is a false assumption. So we should going back and assume it is up. So it cannot be turning inside this region because it has nowhere to go. So it should going left and connect this part. So for this point, it can only be going left. Now for this white dot, because there is a corner a corner beside them, so it cannot be straight because this will cross the path, so it should be horizontal. Now observe that this is actually an incomplete loop. If we let the black dot turning point at left, then this point will this endpoint have nowhere to go. It should be going down, but this will make a small loop here. So this is wrong. We cannot afford that. So the breakpoint should be turning point at right. And since this is a white dot, it has in the left side it has two strike paths. So in the right side it should immediately turning somewhere. So it can only be turning down, and for this endpoint it can going left only. And then we see this is a white point adjacent to a corner, so it should be straight. Then we complete the puzzle. So we actually solved the puzzle in almost 17 minutes. So this is just a normal puzzle in the Masyu. Uh, I will explain very clearly to you that how to play this puzzle. So if you have something so if you have something not clear about this puzzle, please write down in the comment section. If you hope this is helpful, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.